What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Daily Tactics here, back in the Middle Ages, baby. And today we have a massive battle with 1.2 million Crusaders here. This first little blob in the very middle is catapults. The second blob on the outside is archers. The third blob is knights, and the fourth outer blob is footmen right there. Meanwhile, the ambushers who have surrounded the Crusader armies, by the way, the Crusaders have 1.25 million soldiers. The ambushers are comprised of Egyptian soldiers, Egyptian spearmen, archers, as well as Persian warriors too. And they total 5 million, and they are going to be collapsing in on these rings of Crusaders right here. A little bit of lag on the battlefield. That's bizarre. Let me see if I can sort that out before we start this battle. But if you guys enjoy, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more. Let's get into it, baby. Alright, I think I fixed the lag. Let's go ahead and press start here. Just lowered the graphics a little bit. I think since it's such a large battlefield, very expansive, it does cause a little bit more lag. So either way, here we've got Egyptian warriors running on forward over this way. It looks like we are going to have a point of meeting over here too, between Egyptian spearmen as well as some foot soldiers over here for the Crusaders, and they're going to continue to meet across this entire line down this way. Wow, lowering the graphics really hits the quality a lot, but this was as low as I could go and have it be still watchable. But when you zoom in, it doesn't look too horrible. It's definitely not the quality of this game when you have it on really nice graphics, because it actually does look very good for a game that has such large battles. But for this one in particular, we just definitely do need to have lower graphics going on. Over this way, it looks like, I think these are the Persians. They have not made contact yet. Oh, this is the archers as well as, oh, Egyptian warriors. Okay, the Persians must be over there then. But it looks like the archers are spamming fire into a lot of these footmen, taking out a number of them from afar. Of course, when they fight against the heavy knights that are further back there, the archers will not be nearly as effective because, of course, they can block the shots with their armor being so resistant to it, so that won't be too bad. And then over this way, we do have the Persian warriors going in as well against a lot of these footmen. And footmen are probably one of the weakest units in all of Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. They are absolutely atrocious. So this first line for the medieval units, not going to do very well. They will get absolutely clobbered, and that is for sure. And we can see right now they only have 10,000 kills while the attackers have 76,000 kills. So for now, this ambush battle is working out in favor of the attackers. But once the attackers do get to those heavy knights, as well as those catapults and those archers, I think things are going to turn in the favor of the defenders, and the Crusaders will be able to hold their own against them. The footmen are really just to slow down the attackers a little bit, maybe get a few kills. You know, any kills at this point in battle against footmen is going to be very appreciated by high command. But yeah, get a few kills, do as best you can, but at the end of the day, we're not looking for a victory on this first line of defenses. In fact, it would be very peculiar if we did get a victory on this first line of defense. Instead, we want to start seeing massive losses for the attackers once these heavy knights over here for the Crusaders do come into play. So that's what we're looking for, but we'll just have to go ahead and see if that does end up happening. 5 million versus about 1 million, a little more than 1 million, is a very, very difficult battle, but I think it is doable, especially once the heavy knights come into play, because then the archers for the defenders should be close enough to start firing out as well, and the catapults should be able to fire out as well. So we should be seeing mass Kaz for the attackers once those guys come into play. Either way, why don't we go ahead and do our first, you know, little time-lapse doodad here for the footmen, and we'll just watch these spearmen just chop their way across the screen in fast motion. I think that'll be pretty cool. And honestly, I might just do a time-lapse until the medieval knights get into play here, because that's when things are going to really step it up. Okay, so here we go. This line is still being worked on, but over here, we do have some Egyptian warriors going up against some heavy knights here. Heavy knights are getting shot at by those medieval archers, but their shielding ability with their armor is protecting them for the most part. I'm seeing a little bit of blood staining, but not really seeing any dead heavy knights, so those archers should be negated pretty soon, and then once these archers start firing at them as well, they'll be fully negated, and that will no longer be a problem. But it does seem like the only line that's broken through right now is the line with the archers, so that's going to be the most powerful army over there. At the moment, the footmen did manage a reasonable 160,000 kills. Considering that they're just footmen, they're an extremely weak unit. I'm actually pretty impressed by that. I think that is a decent job by those footmen right there. But soon, you know, the job will be taken over by the good old-fashioned medieval knights here in their fully clad armor. And we should start seeing a lot better of a defense from these guys. The Egyptian warriors here going into them, but you can see here that like lots of dead Egyptian warriors, very few dead medieval knights over at this point in time. So yeah, I think this is where we're going to start seeing the defense really pull through, and hopefully the people who got ambushed here, the Crusader army, can finally start making some headway in this battle, and you know, finally get going in their full defense. Now, one thing I do wish I did, and I think if that this ends up in a really bad loss for the ambushed, we'll go ahead and fix this, but I wish that the medieval archers were closer to the front lines, and so were the catapults, because the whole point was the archers were supposed to be firing out while the medieval knights were defending, and that is not happening. And in fact, I think we're going to go ahead and remedy that right now, because that was really the point of the battle, and that's what I wanted to see. So I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. We're going to restart the battle here and get to the point where we were at before, with the footmen just about being dead. And then see what I did here is I scattered catapults basically everywhere throughout the battlefield, as well as made the archers closer to the front line so they'd fire while the medieval knights were being attacked. That was the point of the battle, is to have the ranged units helping out the melee units while they're going. So that's what I wanted to see. Everything else hasn't changed. Same amount of numbers for both sides, same setup other than that. So yeah, I'll just get us back to where we were, and we'll go from there and see how it goes. Alright gamers, we're back to where we were before, but with the new setup of archers and catapults, and there we go. They are firing out now as the Egyptians begin to enter into combat against the medieval knights here. So this is what I was looking for, with sort of the double attack going on with both the melee units as well as the missile units simultaneously fighting for both sides, and I think it's going to make for a very cool battle. We've got a bunch of catapult shots going into a bunch of these Egyptian spearmen over here, and hopefully with these shots going out, we can start to even the odds of this battle out a little bit, because right now the ambush is very successful in favor of the army against the crusade here. Definitely very much so in their favor right now, as they're killing so many footmen and destroying their lines. But with the catapults finally set up and ready to fire, and medieval knights getting involved in the battlefield, we might be seeing a different story playing out very soon. This side over here with the archers as well as the Egyptian warriors is still likely the most deadly side of the battlefield in this entire battle right now. These archers getting, you know, sort of double damage with their missile units and their melee units going at them at once is not going to be easy. It's not going to be a fun time for the defenders right here. So we'll see how they end up faring over the entirety of this battle. But all the other sides still holding out for the time being at the very least, although these footmen over here look like they're going to break very soon. They are having some backup from catapult shots going in, which is very helpful. But as you can see, their line is so unbelievably thin here that they're going to be totally dealt with, and then these Egyptian warriors will start fighting against the medieval knights on the other side here. I have to say, one of my favorite things in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 lately has been these sort of Crusader battles. I think it's just an awesome mashup, and I would love it if they'd actually end up creating, you know, like the army of Jerusalem or something like that in, like, the actual game, instead of having to use Persian warriors and Egyptian warriors, which, you know, are technically regional and stuff like that, but they're the wrong dates for, you know, a army going up against the Crusader. So it'd be cool if we did get a true Crusader faction for both the Crusader side as well as the Defender side. I think that would be really neat for the developers of Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator to do. And honestly, I hope they do a new update very, very soon. They were doing weekly updates for quite a while there, where, well, like 3 weeks of them, I'd say. Which might be quite a while to some people, not very long for others. But they were doing regular updates once a week and releasing new content, new factions, new maps, stuff like that. It was really, really great, but all of a sudden they have kind of gone dead silent on the game for like the past month or so. And we've received no new content in that time. So I think that could mean one of two things. I think it could mean, I don't know, maybe they're sort of like dipping on the game a little bit and moving focus to another game they're making, which would definitely be a bit of a bummer, especially with this game only just coming out very, very recently. Or what they might be doing is working on the Steam workshop of this game, so modders can come out, which I would think would take quite a lot of manpower and quite a lot of resources and time to accomplish that. So maybe that is what they're doing, and they're just simply taking a long time to do that because, well, that sort of a thing would cause a lot of effort on their part. So maybe that's what is happening, and you know, they're just sort of struggling to get that released. That would be the best case scenario. I'd be super duper bummed if they are sort of abandoning work on this project, and that's why we're not getting any new updates recently. But it would be awesome if you know, they are just working on some really, really big update, and that's why they've sort of gone radio silent recently. That's what I'm hoping. That is what I'm hoping. Either way, all sides should be contacting the medieval knights here, and that does appear to be happening at the moment with the medieval archers as well as their catapults firing out at the enemies here and dealing a lot of damage as well. So the damage for the defenders is going up significantly here, which is really, really good to see. It's about dang time that they were getting some damage output going here. And I think it's time for us to do another time-lapse here between the two armies, and I think we should watch a time-lapse of this epic clash here with all of the arrows firing out from both sides, and catapult fire going out, as well as just tons of melee units fighting too. I think this will be a pretty cool time lapse. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, here we go, boys! The Crusader armies are finally making a bit of a comeback here. They have passed the attackers in terms of numbers of kills, so that initial clash between ambushers and ambushees seems to be going more in the direction of the Crusaders here, which is very, very good for them. It seems like they are exhausting a few positions of the enemy armies here, which is also extremely helpful for them. Because they need to start really, really digging into these guys and destroying sections of the army so they can start, you know, looking at other areas to attack now too, and you know, re-gearing their archers and catapults to attack other angles as well. You know, taking out one side of the battlefield will help all of the other sides of the battlefield as well. So this is looking like it's going a lot better, and I'm glad it was, because it was getting down to the wire there for a little bit, but the medieval knights are definitely holding out a decent bit now and continuing to get a lot of kills. Let's do one last really long time lapse here, because I feel like these time lapses that we do with units that are melee units, they tend to be the most fun to watch. They tend to just like look really cool to watch and stuff like that. So I think we'll do a big old time-lapse clash here for a little bit, because it's just fun to watch the progress over a long period of time. Alright, so checking back in here after that long time lapse right there. The attackers still have 2.48 million soldiers. The defenders have 241,000 soldiers. The defenders only have about 1/4 of their total force left, while the attackers have 1/2 of their total force. However, that being said, the attackers have been losing soldiers rapidly compared to the defenders. The defenders are actually doing really nicely in terms of being able to keep their numbers up in these trying times for themselves here, and have done wonderful things in terms of stopping the attackers somewhat in their tracks here. And I think that mainly has to do with the medieval knights here, who are just absolutely a stone wall for these guys to attack. I mean, we have entire areas now, like this over here, that's not getting attacked at all because they managed to defeat them. And it seems like the archers of the enemies seem to be the best force right now at stopping them, but they're going to be coming into range of the defending archers as well as the catapults for the defenders pretty soon here, if not already. And soon those archers will start dying as well. So I think the defenders have a serious shot at managing to win this thing overall, just given the numbers they have left, and given how the attackers really don't have too many numbers left, and really just have archers remaining that are going to have to go up against defending archers soon. So we'll of course let this play out and find out what does end up happening here, but for now let's just let it play for a good chunk of time here and see what happens. Okay, so it seems like right now, after some time, what's happening is that there's a bunch of archers and Egyptian warriors over here that are unable to proceed forward because they're like blocking each other from moving. They're just so like clustered together over here. A few of them are managing to escape and go after the defenders over this way, just to like a little sprinkling at a time, a smattering. But that's about it. Over here is sort of like the exact same thing happening currently, as well as over this way. So I think what we should do is we should allow the defenders now the ability to counterattack if they see fit. So we're going to go ahead and do that and sort of see what happens, just as a little interesting part 2 to this battle. So there we go. Medieval archers from the defenders proceed forward and start to actually get some good shots into these guys over this way, as well as those catapults finally able to hit these guys because they're getting close enough. And not only that, we've also got the medieval knights moving forward now and able to take the advantage against the now defenders, I guess you could say, the ambushers, if you will. So really just a hodgepodge of different things happening here. We have different squads of medieval crusaders moving out in kill formations to take out any straggling units. And then also we've got this entire army over here that was defending this side. They're able to now pivot and come support the other sides of the battlefield that didn't fare as well as they did, because they defeated all of their forces over there. Now they're able to come over here and help out. So really it seems like there's just like a few Egyptian warriors and things like that that are risking their lives to slow down these medieval knights that are coming forward, and trying to protect their archers. Once the medieval knights break through all of these Egyptians who are coming forward, then they'll just be able to beeline straight into these archers over here and start slaughtering them. Meanwhile, there's catapult shots and archer shots from the Crusaders already going into these archers back here, so that's a good thing as well. Oh, it seems like actually a ton of Egyptian warriors just got freed from the back lines. Their restraints of the archer wall that was holding them back are now broken, and they're able to come forward as well. So that's not too bad over there. It seems like over this way there are no more medieval knights left alive, and it's just archers and catapults fighting archers over there. And same seems to go with this area over here, where now it's just catapults and archers fighting against the enemy armies. Right now the Crusaders have achieved 3.26 million kills, but they only have 79,000 soldiers themselves left alive. And they do have some pretty good bunches of soldiers in different areas on this battlefield. However, in other different areas, they are struggling a considerable amount. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening here. Either way, let's go ahead and let this play out for a good heckin' second here, and we'll be back when interesting things develop. Alright, after some time here, the medieval knights have sort of broken their lines. It was kind of boring, actually. It was a little bit anticlimactic. I was watching to make sure there was like no cool stuff to sort of watch happen, but basically they just kind of slowly died out in like really pathetic manner. Now there's only about 3,000 Crusaders left alive. I thought they might have had it for a little bit there, but sadly it appears as though they don't. Here's the very large force of medieval knights still alive, still hacking away at the enemy. They've got about 3.5 million kills, which is pretty insane. I mean, that's a very, very good KD ratio for this entire army here, but it just is not going to cut it to actually get the dubski here, and they will end up dying and going to the wayside, which is a dang shame, boys, a dang shame. But we'll end up seeing what ends up happening between all of them here. And you know, hopefully they can get up to that 3.5 million. They're at 3 million technically right now, but we'll see. Maybe they can get a few more kills. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Egyptians do win, and they don't manage to get the 3.5 million kills at all. Either way, I thought that was a pretty cool, exciting battle. I think it came pretty close there, but just no cigar for the Crusader army. They did try their hardest, but just did not manage it. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy, subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more of this in the future. Either way, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.